Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday morning. And that was yet another morning guitar riff I have never played before, and I just recorded it, see? It's called Multitasking. Yeah, man, so what's happening with you guys? It's Wednesday morning. We are broadcasting live on a rainy day. It's raining today in Los Angeles, California. It's March 10th, 8:21 in the morning. I'm looking out at a cloudy sky and a wet patio. But amazingly, about 15 to 20 doves showed up this morning and were out pecking around looking for food in the rain, so I went ahead and threw them some seeds and millet and bird food out in the rain. Hey, birds gotta eat. Let's start the day with a caffeine cheers. Today I'm drinking Monster Rain. Feeling very good about it. Let's see what's happening. Who's in the room? I was a few minutes late today. I just lost track of time. Was sitting here staring at affiliate campaigns and the stock market. Kim was first again. Wow, that's 2 days in a row, Kim. Kim, Mark, August, MJCIKAS. What's up, Alex? August, Billy Bell, Bolo, Micah's. Dude, Gene's here, Aditya's here, Dirk's here, Sacred Beats is here, Go All In is here. That's a new name. Blader's here from Poland. Blader Poland has a warning for any e-commerce people. It says huge European data center burned today. Numbers of e-commerce shops are down. Do your backup, guys. Yeah, if you're running e-commerce, you might want to check that out. Looks like a huge European data center has burned down today. And a lot of e-commerce shops are down. So a lot of people are scrambling right now. But not us, we're chilling. So what are you guys up to? Jay Farley's in the house. Jimmy Jackson's here. Says good morning. Good morning to you, man. I'm having a great morning. This morning I woke up and got a workout in early, extremely early. That's the thing that I'm probably the most consistent with in my life is, well, right now, showing up on YouTube every day for you guys. And consistent working out, man. At some point, you make the successful transition from, oh God, I have to work out, to, oh God, what do you mean I'm not going to be able to work out? I wish everyone that healthy transformation of thought. Learn to enjoy it. And then when you don't have it, you want it. Wow, so that's crazy about the data center burning down. And my head just said it was probably a competitor who got sick of people stealing his landing pages, and he probably took action. What's up, Mickey? Got donuts and coffee. Man, I haven't had donuts in so long. Let me ask you guys a question. Kim says GME is going nuts right now. Yeah, I've made money on it today already. If you guys don't know, GME and AMC are bananas. GME, oh, wow, it's over 300. Yeah. So I have a few trailing stops on GME right now that are going. I have a few auto buys and sells that are at lower numbers, but they've already made decent money today. The stock trading thing is a very wild experiment, but right now I'm making consistent profits with it. Just kind of basically identifying dips and rises when it starts to do this, and I just set an automatic buy to here, and then I sell it here. And it's working right now, and now it's not scientific, and it's literally, it feels like pulling a handle at a casino on a slot machine. And a few times I've got left. You know, you're buying at one price and then selling here, and then you buy here and it just drops, and then you're in big trouble. But so far I have dug myself out of every hole that the market has thrown me into. Because, you know, I'm a survivor, baby. It's a pretty one. That's actually a song. So yeah, GME's exploding. This is so wild. So I have some shares of both of those stocks that I don't sell. I'm just letting them ride, hold to the moon. And then in the meantime, I make a profit almost every day this last couple of weeks. Significant. More than I used to make at any 9-to-5 job I ever had. It's one of those interesting things. You can apply a lot of affiliate marketing concepts to it, as far as like removing your emotion from your campaigns and setting a situation that you want to happen. Like, I want to buy at this price and I want to sell at this price. And then you just allow the machine to do the work. You're not changing your mind. You just hold fast and steady and stay pretty stoic about the whole thing. So far, it seems to be working out. I'm all for peasant revolts. I'm all for peasant revolts, but surely we can cook up better strategies maybe than game stonk to the moon. It's only worth so much. I don't know, I'd have to disagree with you there, my man. I've watched people make tens of millions of dollars on it, because this is about seizing an opportunity that makes no sense, but it's working. It's the most interesting regular people revolution I've ever seen. And it's probably the only one that's ever actually accomplished anything. They are literally bankrupting hedge funds. It's wild to see. I mean, most movements don't accomplish anything. Like, what's a movement that's accomplished anything in the past? You know, like Occupy Wall Street was a big deal for a while, but it was mainly just a spectacle. And then, you know, people camped out in the field or out in the neighborhood. And then it disappeared and nothing changed. But now, the hedge funds are in trouble. Let's see what you guys are up to. What's up, Jonatas? I like the new name. We're called the MCF now. The Morning Coffee Family. And yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. The Morning Coffee Family is back. And this is actually episode 40. So let's cheers to 40 days, 40 weekdays in a row. "40 weekdays in a row we've gathered here and we've talked, hung out. Hopefully, maybe I've given you guys at least some entertainment, at best some education from my own experiences. The channel is growing. I've noticed I'm getting more Twitter followers, more Instagram followers from you guys finding me there. Mad Society. Sign-ups picked up a little bit, I've noticed. Mad Society's doing better right now than it ever has. I'd say, well, I would compare it to the very initial beginning. Oddly enough, we were doing daily live streams on Periscope. But the energy inside the forum is at a peak. Like it's back to the very beginning levels where everyone's supportive of each other. And instead of me having to log in and answer every single question that comes in, which has happened from time to time, now I log in and there are entire threads that don't even need to be a part of, where some of our members are, we're actually doing what a community does. They're giving them their, suggestions, their strategies, and answering questions. It's a beautiful thing, man. Because what is a community if it's not a conversation between all of the community members? And Jay Farley, I'm looking at you. You're doing a great job lately, man. Really keeping people encouraged. He's making daily updates on his follow along. It's struggling right now, but it's an up and down roller coaster. But we're having a good time in there. Let's see. The stock market has stopped making sense for a while now. Yeah. It's on fire. Who knows what'll happen? Math Adams says, AMC, baby. AMC to the moon. Good morning, Math. Young entrepreneur, what's happening? I'm not sure if I've seen you here before, young entrepreneur. Let's talk about domain name investing. You guys, if you're watching the video, give it a like real quick. Send some good vibes out to the universe. Just go like and then go subscribe. Somebody told me something the other day too. They said, you have to turn on notifications. I think you get a bell or something anytime that the stream goes live. So if you haven't done that, do that. That's what they said. But so far, like today, there was a significant number of people. Okay, we have just popped into possible record-breaking territory today. We just need a few more members and we're going to break a concurrent viewers record. Let's send out some good vibes, man. We've got good vibes for this morning. We're going to try to break a new record. I'm sure I'll talk about domain name investing in just a few seconds. We've got exclusives is in the house. We've got exclusives in the house. We've got August saying cheers. We got Kim standing right over here. We've got Math Adams saying AMC. We've got Bolo saying 307 GME. We've got people from every damn country. We've got a cow checking in from India, and he says, good morning to the morning coffee fam. I show up in the morning, and I really have no plan, but we just hang out and talk. Sometimes we talk about mugs, and sometimes we talk about nothing at all. Sometimes we just sit around and watch each other chat in the chat box. Kim says, I love it. And a cow says, Malan the rock star. I don't know if that's what I am. In music, I never even really got very far. So what does that mean? That means that thank God for the internet. Thank God for the internet. So I can live my life as a musician without starving to death. Without starving to death. Okay, so the reason I paused there is there's a very good chance I might go back and clip that one out for a morning coffee clip. Okay, so what did you ask about? What do you think about domain name investing? I've never done that. I don't know what's even going on with that, to tell you the truth. I don't know anybody who's ever flipped a domain name. The only time I've ever looked into the domain name marketplace was when I was going to start a real brand, and I was looking to buy a domain that had a history and content, and then the concept being that you would flip the domain like a house. So I would go out and buy politicalnewschaos.org. And I would buy it because it already had a history. They've been around 5 years, but they don't understand how to monetize it. Meaning they have like Google AdWords on it and it's making $500 a month. So you can probably buy that website for $5 grand, 10 grand. And then your job would be to implement a monetization strategy that made way more than $500 a month. And you can do that pretty easily by, if you're savvy about affiliate marketing, because instead of doing Google AdWords for pennies per click, you could either put your own products, you could run your own campaigns on the traffic that's already there. You could put CPA ads all over the website, and then you could start buying traffic to politicalnewschaos.org. And the numbers, if let's say they're getting 1,000 visitors a month, you could boost that to 100,000 visitors a month once you've proven the model. I looked into that a long time ago. Almost like house flipping. But that's real. I don't really know, I don't even know what the laws are now. I know there was a great story about MTV.com. And Pepsi.com or Coke.com, like some of these major domains at one point in the 90s, they expired. And this guy bought something like, he had like Coca-Cola.com, other huge domains, and he made millions of dollars selling them back to these brands. But I don't know if that's even legal anymore. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can buy, let's say Facebook.com, expired and you bought it, I don't know if you can legally have it. They may just give it straight back to whoever the owner was. One other interesting strategy I've seen with domain names is when something big happens in the news, like who's a phenomenon that's popped up in the news lately that was like a huge story. You could pick anything. And it would say, like let's say that a big Hollywood couple broke up, or a crypto, let's say this, like a crypto company gets hacked and loses all the money. And there was like a phrase, Binance hack. And it was huge news. And you bought BinanceHack.com. So when people Googled Binance hack, you're going to be the #1 listing organically. And then you get free traffic, which you can monetize. But as far as buying and selling, I don't know. My goodness, GMC's at 327, and I'll say this. This is the squeeze. Like the last time, this is what it was. It went to 500 and then it dipped to 91 the same day. So I would expect right now, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but that's at 329. It could hit 500-600 today and then it'll probably drop. I don't know. But I can tell you this, the dude, Roaring Kitty, he bought another 50,000 shares after his congressional hearing for $2 million. I think the shares were $43 that week. He bought 50,000 of them, and they're now up $300 per share. So what's that math? 300 times... So his investment has made a profit now. His investment of $2 million has made a $15 million profit. So he's going to end up making $100 million or more off this thing. And that money's coming directly from hedge funds. It's wild to see, man. Wow. They're already talking about the movie. They've already started working on the movie, I believe. See what you guys are talking about. The best thing about domain names is that you can keep it until you get a buyer, right? I enjoy when you talk about music. Who is your current favorite artist? Currently? Oh man, currently. Let me think, who am I listening to the most? See, the problem with that is I'm working on an album. So I'm mainly only listening to my own music. But I will say someone who's popped up on my radar for the first time ever is Neil Young. His very, very early stuff I've been listening to. What's it called? Harvest, I believe is the name of the album. Harvest, something like that. He was one of those guys that was kind of like my parents' music when I was a kid, so I just tuned it out for most of my younger life. And then you listen to it now and you go, holy hell. Because when I encountered Neil Young, he was an older man. He was like 65 years old or something. And Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and those kind of bands were referencing him as an influence. And he was like the godfather of grunge for a while. So that's when I knew him, mainly. This old guy that used to be something else. And then one night I saw a live YouTube video of him. It looks like he's about 20 years old. And he's just on a TV show or something, and he does this set that is mind-blowing. And you get to see him in his prime, and he blew me away. One of the best voices I ever heard, with some of the best lyrics I ever heard. And I was actually looking at real estate lately in Topanga Canyon. And last year they sold Neil Young's house where he recorded one of his albums, and it had a studio in it and everything. It was about I think it sold for $1.1 million last year. And it's the dream, you know, it's like a wooden house, but it's big. Lots of views, secluded, lots of woods. And he wrote and recorded an album there. I can't remember which album it was that he wrote there, but it was a Topanga Canyon house, and it just sold last year for $1.1 million, which is a good price in LA. I mean, it's shocking if you live in Oklahoma or somewhere like that, but 1.1 million is basically the house of the price of an average 2-bedroom family home. It's crazy. For example, in the town I grew up in, you can buy a mansion. It's like 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, you know, 8-car garage. What is it, like a 6,000, 8,000 square foot home for 1.3 million. Furnished, everything in it stays. The place is loaded with kind of old 80s wealth furnishings. And in LA, for the same price, you can you get about maybe a 2-bedroom home with maybe a little bit of a view, or maybe not, maybe just in a neighborhood. It's very weird. I once went to Neil Young's childhood farm. At the time, a nice Swiss family had turned it into a llama farm. Damn, GM, that sounds cool to me. Check out After the Gold Rush. Will do. Jay Farley, I feel like middle class in Southern California starts at $100,000 a year. Yeah. New York too. That's one of those things, one of the benefits of living in a place like Texas or Oklahoma in one of those little small towns is you can buy a nice house for the price of a down payment in LA. I mean, pay cash for the house and be done with it. When I first moved here, my friends, I was paying $750 a month for a 3-bedroom house in Tulsa. Big backyard, fenced-in patio, basketball hoop in the driveway, everything you need. $750 a month. When I moved to LA that year, this was 2008, I rented a 1-room, maybe 600 square foot room, guest house for $13.50 a month plus bills. I couldn't believe it. It was double the rent. And my friends, the way that they put it, they were already living here. They said, you just pay it and you get used to it. And that's true. Or you don't figure it out and you go running home as quickly as you can. I mean, for every person I know that moved here and is still here, there's 2 or 3 that moved here and lasted a month or 2 and they had to get out. It's a tough city to make it in, because it's like New York. You do have to do something extraordinary, or you have to live a lifestyle that doesn't cost much money, which is, you know, the other way to do it. You can rent a room in a house here. You can get by $800, $900 a month, but you're living in a room, maybe even with a roommate in the room. All right, you guys have any questions? I'm gonna check the chat real quick and then we'll wrap up and get out of here. We're half an hour in. Boy, we just need a few more people to beat a record, man. If you guys haven't liked the video, give it a like real quick. Share it on Twitter or something. We'll see if we can boost it up. We just need like a few more people. Tony Roberts says, or you end up on Skid Row. Yeah, that's another option that can end up happening. I just watched a movie about a hotel called can't remember what it was called, but it's right down there in Skid Row, and a bunch of people ended up dying in there, and it was mysterious, but they figured it out. Kim says, I expect GME to hit 380 and then pull back, but who knows? Yeah, if it hits 380, that's insane. It's done it before. It hit 500 once. It's at 330 right now. Wow. That's just crazy. Because I'm invested a bit, but the people that like went in hard and they've been holding for years, through the roof. What budget would you recommend for getting into native? A couple grand. You want to be able to spend 50 or 100 bucks a day without really sweating it. That'll get you in the game. And if you luck into an early win, then you can get into what I call the money wash, which is where you spend 100 bucks a day and make 200. So you're making 100 bucks a day profit. So every week in 7 days, you spend 7 days. You spend 700. And after that week, you get your check for 1,400. So now, the next time you run traffic, you can spend 1,400 that week, and if it doubles again, you get a check for 2,800. Now, that's not how it always works. In fact, that's not common at all. But that's how it works sometimes. And that's how you can build a small nest egg into a bigger one. I call it the money wash. Because if you have, let's say you have 3 grand you can play with, that's 100 bucks a day total. But if you're making 100 a day, by the end of that month, if you spend 3 grand that month, you'll end up with 6. If the dream scenario happens and you're able to double. It's usually not that high. But even if you're making 50%, you'd spend the 3, you'd end up with 4,500 the next month. You spend 4,500, you put a little cream on top of that, and it starts to build and build and build. And if things go well, then in a short or long amount of time, you'll find yourself, you can easily go from spending 50 or 100 bucks a day to 1,000 a day, to 5,000 a day, to 50,000. I mean, pick a number. If the numbers are working out, you just keep increasing the spend if you're making a steady return. A cow in India, my man, says, Malan, what is your thought about buying banner ads on websites for a fixed fee if a website owner accepts cash? Have you done it? I've never gone that route, but I know people who have, and here's what usually happens. As long as you have a good product that matches their website, the ROI is usually through the roof because website owners a lot of times don't understand how much their traffic is worth. So if you can find someone who's selling their traffic for less than the native networks or Facebook or Google, which can be very expensive, 50 cents a click, $2 a click, and you find a website that even has small traffic and they charge 10 cents a click, and you're breaking even or making money on native or Facebook at those dollar click prices, these guys are selling clicks for 10 cents a piece, you can make hundreds of % ROI. But the volume is going to be limited. You can't get a lot of traffic. So it's a smaller traffic play, higher ROI play. I know people that have done it. And when you do that, you're basically bypassing the ad network because the ad networks are getting those cheap clicks too. Some of the sites that they're charging you $1 on, that you're having to pay $1 for, they're getting them for 10 cents, and that's how they make their money. Usually I would assume that their cream on top is 10 to 50%. That's their business model. So by going directly to the small sites, you're cutting them out. But the trade-off is they usually don't have a very sophisticated interface for you to use. The bidding, you can't target, there's none of that stuff. So you're basically loading up them, let's say they want 500 bucks for the month. You send them 500 bucks, and they send you traffic for a month. And if you make more than 500, you send them 500 again for the next month. Is it possible to arbitrage PPC traffic, i.e. buy low and resell higher? Yeah, That's the ad network business model. So if you run traffic on, let's say, Rev Content, they're buying clicks for pennies and selling them for quarters and dimes and nickels and dollars. That's what they do. If you can find, you could start an ad network very easily. All you do is go out and create relationships with websites for a certain price per click, and then you resell it for more. And in that way, it's impossible to lose money. There's zero risk. I mean, imagine you have a relationship with 100 decent-sized websites, and they're selling you traffic for 10 cents a click. That's the deal. And you set up a traffic network, an ad network, and you advertise it. And as people compete for the clicks, in the beginning, you can probably get 20 cents a click, 12 cents a click. But as more people come on and join the auction and bid on the click prices, you may be getting $1 a click, and you're only paying a dime or a quarter or 99 cents, pick a number. That is a business model that makes billions of dollars a year for some people. But for me, I would go out and buy traffic on websites and just split test them. I spent $1,000 on this traffic, this website this month. It only made 100, so that one's out. But this one made 1,200, so I'll keep that one. And you're basically buying placements like you would at a traffic source, but you're just doing it manually. It's a great business model if you want to spend the time finding websites that are related to your traffic, that take advertisers like you, and that will allow you to run. It's some of the easiest money you can make. But you will be limited on scale. And that's how it works. We are literally just a couple people away from beating a record right now. Unbelievable. What keeps you going all these years in AM? Don't you get tired of the same routine? All the ups and downs and just being in the industry so long? What keeps me going is that I love it. I've found what I love doing. I like playing the guitar, singing songs, reading, watching statistics, and playing the AM game. It's not a job for me. It's not something I have to try. It's something I would have to try not to do. And that goes back to the Charles Bukowski quote that I always bring up. I believe on his tombstone, it says, "Don't try." And that doesn't mean be lazy and don't try and don't work hard and all that. It means find something to do that you don't have to try to do it. If you have to try to do it, it's a job. It's something you got to do to make money, but it's probably not what you're supposed to be doing. Find something you don't have to try to do. You wake up in the morning, you make coffee, and you play the guitar and run campaigns, and that's it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to force yourself to go. You don't even think about quitting. I've taken one vacation in 12 years, 13 years, where I connected. I did that once in 2010. Probably time to do it again. Hey, Prayful, he says, I'm late to the session. It's all good. Akal says, if you enjoy your work, you will never be bored. Right. Kim says, do something you would have done for free anyway. True. And Jay Farley makes a good point. Affiliate marketing is way less routine-based than a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, it's like, you could have easily just asked, why don't you get tired of eating? I mean, every day you eat a couple times, hopefully. Why don't you quit eating? You're getting bored with it. It's like, well, it's just automatic. It's fun. So I hope, my prayer for you is that you find something that's fun to do that you never get bored of, makes you a little money. And if you're broke, if you're barely scraping by, but you're doing something that you like to do, I mean, that's the artist's life, the starving artist's life. If I had to wake up in the morning, I think the trade-off is worth it. Even if you have to live in your painting studio or your music studio or your band's rehearsal room, which I did. I lived in a rehearsal room for a long time. But you get to do what you want, something that interests you, that you're passionate about, and you make just enough money to eat and scrape by. That's not a bad life, man. It might even be a better life than the rich, wealthy businessman who, works 20 hours a day. Billy Bell says, who is the woman in the picture behind you? That's actually me. Everyone thinks it's a woman. And I used to get called a girl when I was a little kid. Me and my younger brother, Ben, who's just 2 years younger than me, we both had long hair. We were 70s kids, Mom, we had like longer hair. And we used to get compliments about being the cute little twin sisters. But that's a painting of me that my grandfather did. His name is DJ LaFawn. If you Google DJ LaFawn art, you're going to find some amazing artwork. He painted his entire life, and he's really my idol, I guess, as far as my lifestyle goes now. He woke up in the morning, he drank coffee, and he painted, and that's it. He painted for his entire life. Had 10 kids, Mormon family. And he took a job in Ada, Oklahoma at the ECU, at the college, as the head of the art department, and that's how I was born there. But when he retired, he went back to just painting, and while he was working, he painted every day. I mean, there are hundreds, if not thousands of paintings out there, and they're highly sold and collected. But his concept was, paint every day. I paint all day, every day. In fact, at the end of his life, they set up his hospice in his art studio, and he laid in a bed, and this is what I heard, he laid in a bed and he would fall asleep and rest, and he would wake up and pick up a paintbrush and paint. And then he would close his eyes and fall asleep, and when he woke up, he would just pick up a paintbrush and paint. And that's how he spent the last, couple weeks of his life, doing exactly the thing that he loved. Every day. GME's at 335. Wow. AMC's at 12. Just the other day, I was thinking if AMC, I had a bunch of shares of AMC, and I thought if it hits 11, I'd make a killing. But I ended up, no, I think at 10, I had a sell, like a crazy dream sell price at 10. I ended up actually selling for less than that, but now it's at 12. That's how quick things can change, kids. And I think it's time to go. August says, having a 9-to-5 job is the real definition of boredom. I agree. But you got to do what you got to do. Claudine says, I remember watching a video of you going to Mexico for your birthday. Oh yeah, I did take a trip to Mexico. And I did not work that week that we were gone because the cruise ship had no Wi-Fi. So it was one of the first times I just was unable to connect to the internet. I did pay for the cruise ship Wi-Fi, and it was, you know, something ridiculous, 20 bucks a day, and it barely connected at all. It was satellite. But that was another trip, one other break that I took. That was a blast. I got to climb a pyramid. That was pretty cool. But that's it. It's time to go. It's time to go. Time to go. Let's wrap up the Morning Coffee Family YouTube show. Tonight we'll go dancing. Through GME and AMC profits, we'll go dancing. And if we lose all our money in the stock market today, at least it was fun. That's all I can say. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope I see you again on the Morning Coffee Family YouTube show. All right, Sacred Beats, Kim, August, Claudine, Billy Bell, Read Me, Jay Farley, Acal, Prayful, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Wednesday. Remember what we talked about today, because I have no idea. And if you're watching the replay, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, man, I will see you, Bolo, and everyone else, bright and early in the future. Y'all come back now. You hear?